Hello, this is Adam Friedman from Strafford Technology. Welcome once again to another tips and tricks video on using Obiee, Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition. Today we are going to focus on dashboards, and we're going to take a look at some of the reasons to use dashboards and what they look like in Obiee. So just to get started, to talk about this for a second, there's probably many good reasons to use dashboards within Obiee. I'm sure you'll come up with many on your own. I'd like to point out two right now. One is that it's a really good way to distribute your information to other users. It gives you security control. It allows you to easily group information in different ways that will be useful for different user communities, and as such will allow you to easily distribute your reports in a way that makes sense to your organization. Also, it is a very good way to put together information that might not necessarily at first glance seem to belong together. Like, for example, if you wanted to have a report that showed information about, let's say, project costing, and next to that, which might come from your projects subsystem, and next to that you might want to see information from your financials, like maybe a balance sheet. And even though these two pieces of information might come from completely different data sources, different parts of your system, maybe might not even make sense to most people together, for certain users they might find it very useful to have two types of information together that would be very useful for them in their job. And so as a result, you can use dashboards to group this kind of information together that might at first glance not really seem to belong together. Let's take a look at dashboards. In our system, we're starting here on our home page, but quite easily we can click on our dashboards link here and open up. In our case, we have a ton of different sets of dashboards: financial services, financials, project, sales, etc. It's very easy to navigate to the specific type of information I'm interested in. So for example, I can drill down to projects, and let's start by looking at our dashboards index, because this actually demonstrates another useful capability of dashboards, which is it allows you to organize your information. Each one of these different sections here, like project performance and financial management, each of them open to a different dashboard. So what we actually have here is a dashboard of dashboards. And so for example, if I wanted to click on budget details, I could just click on open, and now I'm looking at project details. And again, as usual, if I want to go back, I can click on the back button, or I could use these breadcrumbs down here to get back. So by starting at the index, no matter where I go in this analysis, I can always get back to the index by clicking on that top level breadcrumb. Okay, so let's take a look at one of these dashboards in a little bit more detail. Let's take a look at financial management. Now, I'd like to point out here, if this is something that you're going to go to often, or all the time, or maybe even this dashboard's index page, let's say, is a page that you're going to want to go to all of the time whenever you start your day, you can set it to be one of your favorites, and that's very easy to do. You just click on favorites and add to favorites, and from now on, this is going to be here. So anytime I want to come back to this, I just click on it, and it's going to bring me back to the dashboard's index page. A couple more notes on favorites. I can manage my favorites. So if I click here, manage favorites, you can see here that I have what would be my multiple favorites listed here. Right now I only have one. I have the ability to categorize them. So for example, maybe I want to create a category called project stuff. And I can put my dashboard's index into project stuff, and now whenever I want to look at that, I'd be able to look at under project stuff and then dashboard's index. If I hit OK, we'll see what that looks like here. So I have this little drop down. I can drill down on project stuff and get back to the dashboard's index. And if you've made a mistake and you're not happy with this, you could always just say remove from favorites. That would actually remove this page from your favorites, but will not remove the category. To remove the category, we just go back to manage favorites, click on project stuff, and delete. Hit the confirmation, and so that's it. So let's go again back to financial management. One important thing to point out here, and let's take a look at this screen. We have a dashboard set of prompts up at the top here, and we have a whole bunch of different charts. There's actually a number of different analyses or a number of different reports that are all put together into this one dashboard. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different reports, all in this one dashboard. And I'd also like to point out that this whole dashboard is actually controlled by this dashboard prompt. So essentially I can control 8 different reports by changing one drop down. So right now I'm looking at 2009, but if I was really interested in 2012 and 13, I click on those 2 years and hit apply. And now you can see in all dashboards where it's appropriate, the time periods have changed from 2009 to 2012 and 13. Now, the dashboard prompt here works on this whole dashboard page. I'd like to point out that it is actually possible to create a dashboard prompt that would span dashboards. That's not the case here, but that can be done as well. So for example, if we were to set a year in one place, we'd then be able to use that year in a bunch of different dashboards. But for this case, we're just controlling all of the different analyses on this one dashboard with this one dashboard prompt. Also, just to point out some terminology, we also have an analysis prompt down here that only works on the analysis. So even though we're on a dashboard, this analysis prompt still is active, but just only for this particular analysis. So I could change this chart to a table, and now I'm looking at the numbers associated with it, but you'll notice the other charts have not been changed. And as I noticed before, as I mentioned before, sorry, by just clicking on this dashboard's index at the top level of my breadcrumbs, it will automatically bring me back to my opening dashboard. Now, this brings me to one last tips and tricks regarding dashboards. If you're the kind of a user that is always interested in the same thing every day, you can, of course, you can set it up as a favorite, as I mentioned, but you can also set this up so that whenever you enter Obiee, you'll automatically come to the particular dashboard that you're interested in. And the way you do that is you click on your user ID here, go to My Account, and under Preferences, where it says Starting Page, you can actually choose, well, the default, or which would have already been set for you by your administrator, your home page, your My Dashboard, or any dashboard that has been already set up. So in this case, if I wanted to go to the project's dashboard, and that's this dashboard's index, I can click here, and now whenever I enter Obiee, I will automatically come to this page. And this could be really useful for your users so that they can keep themselves focused on what's important to them and not always have to be navigating through a ton of different reports just to get to the one place that they need to go to. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you join us for our next one.